Right, I thought it would be pretty interesting to do a video on all of my favourite Easter eggs and secrets inside of Destiny 2. Now, I am going to be pretty cheeky and ask you to subscribe before the video has even begun. First up, we have the tower safety sign. This is such a great Easter egg, and it actually counts the amount of days it's been since someone has accidentally fallen off the tower. You can find this Easter egg in the hangar section of the tower. As you can see, if I jump off the map and then go back to the sign, it gets reset to 0. I was actually really interested to see if I could get this sign to go above 1, so when I went to the gym, I left my PC on. Unfortunately, when I came back and reviewed the footage, it didn't seem to go any higher. If you guys have ever seen it higher than 1, then please let me know in the comments. In any case, it's such a cool Easter egg and definitely worth taking a look at. Next up, I'm not really sure how to feel about this one, but we actually have an Easter egg to a dog that actually died on the moon. Essentially, inside of the Luna's Howl lore tab, we learn there was a character who had a pet dog called Luna. Sadly, this guy's dog was actually killed by the Hive, and this gun is named after it. If you go to the entrance of the Garden of Salvation raid, then you can actually find Luna's collar on this rock. Again, another cool Easter egg, but whose idea was this? Moving on, we have the Titan sea monster. Unfortunately, you can't go and look at this Easter egg anymore, as this planet has actually been vaulted. Just like in the clip you're seeing now, throughout Titan there was a couple of references that hint at the presence of some sort of sea monster. And if you looked in the right place, it was actually possible to get a glimpse at this thing. Overall, a solid Easter egg that added quite a bit of mystery to Titan. One of the best social space Easter eggs has to be tower fireworks. To trigger this Easter egg, you're going to need to kick coloured balls into specific locations in the tower. Now, this took me much longer than I care to admit, but at the end you get this big traveller football and then obviously the fireworks as well. This next one isn't really an Easter egg, it's just a recording outtake that was kept in the game as a really rare bit of dialogue.
The strike protocol is already running. Can't stop it now. Devram? Yes, sorry. The fire team, baby dog, they're taken up looting the EDC. We need to determine the source of... I'm sorry, I can't.
Then we actually have a reference to the Grunt birthday party from Halo. Essentially, in the Last Wish raid we have this thing called the Wish Wall. The wall itself is actually a bit of a reference to older games with cheat codes, but essentially when you input different codes you get different effects in the raid. If you input the code you're seeing on screen, you'll actually get my personal favourite, which is that confetti effect. Moving on, I wanted to talk about some of my favourite Easter eggs from the first mission of the Red War campaign. First up, if you played Destiny 1, then you probably remember the purple ball from a tower. Unfortunately, this thing has actually been destroyed in the Red War campaign. Another little reference that I thought was quite cool is the fact that Shaxx actually has an exotic on his back from Destiny 1. Now this is the Razorlighter exotic sword. Unfortunately, this weapon hasn't yet made it into Destiny 2, but it's pretty cool to see the weapon again nevertheless. And finally, from this mission you can find the Sweeper bot continuing to do his job even though the tower is under attack. Next up, we've got some pretty cool Easter eggs and references from Zavala's office that kind of speak for themselves.
Think of it as training, Guardian. You can only get stronger from this.
Then, in the tower, you can actually play the Floor is Lava minigame. Essentially, you're given a random checkpoint and you've got to get there without touching the floor. Once you complete this minigame, you're actually granted a jump boost. This jump boost can actually be quite useful for finding other secrets inside of the tower. Moving on, we have an Easter egg from Destiny 1 which actually came forward to Destiny 2 with the return of the Cosmodrome. Essentially, in Destiny 1 there was these things called loot caves which would continuously spawn ads. The general idea was players would stand back and farm these ads over and over again. Once Bungie finally got round to patching this loot cave, they left a little Easter egg inside. If you go to this cave on the Cosmodrome and disturb the remains, you'll hear this voice line.
A million deaths are not enough for Master Raoul.
Another quick Easter egg which I thought was pretty cool is on the EDZ, Devrim actually has the No Land Beyond exotic sniper rifle. Now again, the No Land Beyond isn't actually in Destiny 2 as a usable weapon, but you can still see it here. Next up, we have a line from the Ghost which is clearly a reference to Star Wars.
I don't see anything of interest in our kill data so far, Asher. Are you sure these are the right Vex?
What do you mean, the right Vex?
You know, like, are these the robots we're looking for?
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
The watermelon shader is actually a reference to a community webcomic called the Watermelon Exo. This is just such a cool Easter egg, and it's really cool seeing Bungie reference and actually implement something into the game from the community. I'm pretty sure most emotes in Destiny 2 are a reference of some kind, but here's my favourite one, which is a reference to one of my favourite films actually, Pulp Fiction.
Vincent. Vincent. I'm on the intercom.
Where is the intercom?
It's on the wall by the two African fellows. To your right. Warm. Warmer. Disco.
Hello?
Then we have some references to our fallen Hunter Vanguard. In the tower you can find a couple of references to Cade 6, but the most notable is definitely the memorial. During some of the winter events in Destiny, you can actually play ice hockey and also throw snowballs at each other. On the moon there's actually a really cool minigame where you have to push tires into craters. It's also worth noting, in a lost sector on the moon you can find a NASA satellite that's actually crashed, and interacting with this will actually get you an emblem. With that all being said, I just want to say at the end here, we've just hit 15,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. It's still all so crazy to me, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and goodbye.
Outbreak Prime is well ahead in the lead to win first place,